Welcome to Make With Me Monday. There's an eclipse, guys. Okay. Hi, sorry. I was watching the eclipse. Sorry. Don't get on me. Also, I don't know if I've cleaned my mess or anything. I just have been like, I've just had a lot of things happening today. It's just like a big day today. Hold on. Hold on. I'm a little bit. Let's see. A little shiny. Okay, great. Beautiful. Hello, friends. Welcome to Bath and Foam. My name is Robyn Smith. It's Monday, which means it's time for Make With Me Monday. I've had a wacky, wild, crazy day. Let me put my phone back on sleep. Okay. Today's been like exciting, and there's like a lot of things going on, like an eclipse. I got a new car. Making bath crayons. Okay. So let's do it. Also, I was like so stressing about Facebook like right before I started. So I just want you to know. Rose says hello. Diana says hello. You've never seen a live on Facebook. Oh, like not like a live at all. You've never seen a live at all? I popped your live, Terry. I'm so happy for that. It feels special. Christine says hi. Diana says, what kind of car did you get? I got a Mazda CX-5, and it's blue. It's pretty. My other car was like a 2016. It was like really old, and my husband had tried to get me a new car like more recently, and I was like, no, I don't want a new car. But my AC stopped working, so it was like this time. Okay, guys, today we're going to be making the DIY bath crayons, but thank you for asking. I love her. She's a lot of fun to drive. I'm also hyper today. Today, we're going to be making the DIY bath crayons. Here's what the cover of the ebook looks like. Focus. I don't know why my computer's doing. Anyway, looks something like that. If you already make bath like soap crayons with melt and pour soap, this might not be the recipe for you. I did not expect this recipe to be like a hit for everybody because I don't think a lot of people would be interested in it, but then a lot of people were interested in it, which was surprising to me. So Kelly says, have you told your old car yet? Yeah, she went this morning. I traded her this morning. I told her she was a really good girl. She did a lot. She was good. But I do have a new girlfriend, so it's like kind of sorry. Can't have two girlfriends in the same house. It gets a little crazy. Okay. So we're going to be making the bath crayons. I set all this up before I left to go take care of my chores so that it would be all ready to go. Okay. Mostly. So, this recipe is very, very simple. You're gonna need emulsifying wax. You want a complete emulsifying wax. Not BTMS 50, not BTMS 25. Get out of here. Those are great for conditioning and lotions, but not for this. You want a complete emulsifier, hopefully with an inky that's inky like the international nomenclature, blah, 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 INCI, with an inky that says ceteric alcohol and polysorbate 60. That'd be ideal. But there are other emulsifying waxes that you could use, but just my one caveat is like, please consider getting it from a soap supplier. I know that Amazon's quick, but Amazon's kind of the Wild West sometimes. Like, you don't know what you're going to get all the time. So you could say one thing, and sometimes it comes in, and you're like, did I order from Wish or what? Okay, so just, and, okay, so the times when people have had the most trouble, unless you're in Australia, because like sometimes y'all's ingredients are different, is Amazon ingredients. So we have some recommended suppliers in the ebook. So check those out, okay? Next thing we're going to need is cocoa butter. You could also probably substitute this for like palm oil. Something like you need like a really hard alternative. So maybe palm oil, maybe maybe cocoa butter. I don't think it would be hard enough, but like, you know, you want a hard butter though. And this last little bit I'm putting in is stearic acid. So, other than that, those 3 ingredients, which I'm gonna put in the microwave right now. Other than those 3 ingredients, you're also gonna use an oil-soluble preservative and mica. Shazam, that's it. Wham bam, thank you, man. That's it. It's so simple. Okay? Most of the time, so like what's the difference between this and the soap crayon thing? Here's why I don't like the soap crayons. I live in Texas, it's hot. They melt. They just melt for me and they sweat. Like any kind of melt and pour soap sweats for me. It's where it gets like kind of goopy on the outside of it. Even if I get the low sweat variety, they still sweat because our humidity here is still just like so high. So that's why I never really liked them, and I tried them. I just didn't like them. I think I made some for like a niece or a nephew, and then when I tested them, what I didn't like, the other thing was like they're slippery like soap, but like kind of mucusy, kind of in a way, like mucus. So I wasn't thrilled about that, to say the least. Well, oh, look, I was taking care of myself. Look at this, some nice clean stuff ready for right here. But if you already stock melt and pour, like if you use melt and pour for soap embeds or other things, you might want to just keep using melt and pour. But for me, I don't use melt and pour. I do use a lot of cocoa butter. I do use a lot of emulsifying wax, and I do use a lot of stearic acid. So it's stuff I already stock. So it's fairly easy for me to just kind of incorporate it into stuff that I would make. If, like with the melt and pour soap crayons, I have to go buy melt and pour specifically for that purpose, and then I don't use it for anything else. So you kind of have to like consider, when I did the breakdown of like the cost of goods to make this, when I did the breakdown, I believe it was I think it was actually slightly cheaper for me to make this than to make the soap crayons. But you'll have to look at it for yourself, you know? You have to like make that decision for you. It's your choice, man. Okay. We're just gonna pop that in there just another like 30 seconds or a minute. Anyway, it's your choice. Okay, it's up to you. I'm not like gonna push you or something. Desiree says, with the wax, wait, what's the wax? 494, 464 coconut wax? I don't know what that is. I don't know what everything is. Actually, like, so Megan, who's our assistant, she does like a lot of our like customer service stuff, but like if she has something that she like needs to clarify or she's not sure on, she'll like message us and kind of get verification, like, I think this is our thing. Anyway, there's one day and I was like, what? I don't know everything. And she was like, but to be fair, you know a lot of things. And I was like, okay, I do know a lot of things that are like random and completely unhelpful unless there's like a category in Jeopardy for like cosmetic supplies. But I don't know for sure with the coconut, with the wax. What you do want, so I don't know if it's an emulsifying wax. Yeah, you could give it a shot. If it's not an emulsifying wax, like say I have sunflower wax, it's just a wax, it's not an emulsifying wax, you don't want to use that, because if you use just the regular wax like beeswax or something like that, when you draw on it and then you go to rinse it off, it's gonna just be wax. So it's just gonna stick on the wall, and then say it does come off, it'll like have flakes that are like all in the bathtub, which is like gonna be pretty messy and gross. With this, because it's an emulsifying wax, what happens is when the water and the wax and the cocoa butter oil that it's in it mix together, it kind of creates like a cream or a lotion or something. So you could like draw on it and the little flakes get in the bathtub. It's not that big a deal. You can kind of just like smoosh them up with your hands or rinse them out, you know. But if it's like a regular wax, then you can't do that. And I think people like I do think that your customers may see that it has a wax in it and like kind of freak out for a minute. So you do need to explain that to them, like, hey, this isn't beeswax. This is like a very specially formulated wax, and what it does is it takes water and oil and combines them together and kind of turns it into this like creamy, skin loving thingamajig. So that's the direction I would go with that. Diana says, where did I get my silicone spatula? That is probably from, that's probably from Amazon. I used to be able to find them at Walmart. That's why I had to think about it. I used to be able to find them at Walmart, but I can't find them at Walmart anymore. So I got it from Amazon. Okay, so one of the things in the recipe that I talk about is using a preservative. So since this is going to be used in the water, it's going to be bath water, little kids, you know, dirty. You need a preservative in it. Like water's going to be on top of it. Water's not going to penetrate inside of it. So it's not exactly like a sugar scrub, like an oil-based sugar scrub, and then you open it, water gets in, then you close the lid. So it's not really like that. So water's not contaminating it, but water's still going to be on top of it. So getting an oil-soluble preservative is going to keep the crayon itself from developing bacteria, yeast, mold, any of those yucky things. You have a lot of choices, and right now on Patreon, I'm working on a spreadsheet that has like a bunch of different preservatives, their solubility, their pH compatibility, other things. So I'm working on that right now in Patreon. I'm also working on a blog post for everybody that's going to talk a little bit more about preservatives. I know I said that last week, but like preservatives are complicated. So anyway, but one of the things that you got to pay attention to is the temperature that you can use your preservative at. So I'm going to use a preservative that is oil soluble and allows me to add my preservative up to like 175 Fahrenheit, which is a lot. Okay. So you don't have to use a preservative that has such a high temp point, but it helps because now my preservative is already mixed in. I don't have to worry that I might have forgot it, because sometimes I do forget. And now all I have to do is add the color, which we're going to do right now. Okay, so we're going to make some pink. We're going to make some pink ones. Maybe we'll make pink and purple. And I have 3 mats. I have silicone mats. So these are called Ladyfingers molds. These are also from Amazon. I'll include a link. Or you could use like a little shaped silicone mat. I would try to avoid anything that's like really long and has like a narrow point, because it's going to be more likely to break. But something that's like kind of dense like this is going to be fun and easy to work with. You could also do bigger ones if you wanted to. So we got to talk about colorant, okay? Because your mica will be measured by my heart today, apparently. Okay, we're gonna use a actual teaspoon, but okay. Can't see it. In the ebook, I have suggestions on the amount of mica that you should use. It takes a lot of mica to properly color your bath crayons so that they will leave a good color on the wall when your little kiddos are coloring with them, or your adults. It takes a lot of mica. This is not a recipe specific thing though. So if you make melt and pour soap crayons, the same is going to be true. It's going to take a lot of mica. And I found that the suggested amounts that I give you in the ebook, they're basically the same for for this versus the soap. So if you know, it's just a good baseline just in general for like how much color payout you're going to need. So it's just really important, guys, that you use micas from like trusted suppliers. So we only have had there was somebody who posted and the crayons had stained their wall, but I was like, oh my god, I was like mortified. And so I immediately was like, hey, what micas did you use? They told me what micas they used. So I talked to Susie from Muddy Soap Co. and arranged for her to send a kind of full complement rainbow of samples to this person so I could have them specifically test with the exact micas I was using, which would help me determine whether it had to do with the type of material that their tub was made of or if it had to do with the mica, right? Because I couldn't determine which it was. So fortunately, they reported back when they were done that the fresh micas from Muddy Soap Co. worked great, and they didn't have problems. So that gray stripe, it got some extra grays in it at that over that. Let me tell you, anytime a recipe goes wrong for you guys, like, I hope you know, it stresses me out like so bad. But not like, I don't want you to be like, feel bad that it stresses me out, because that's not what I'm trying to say. I'm just trying to say, like, if you're stressed out about it, I'm stressed out about it too. I don't like that. I don't like people not being able to just like pick it up and go and do it and make it work. So I will spend all of my time dedicated to finding out why something works or doesn't work. So like, number one, don't be afraid to like message us or email us and tell us that you're having an issue, but also like just know that we like give our heart and soul. We're gonna make sure that you get like settled and everything gets okay for you, okay? All right, because we're there for you. We don't say BFF for nothing, okay? All right, so I've sat here for a minute staring. I'm just staring at it. I sat here for a minute testing the temperature because I want to pour. You want to pour too. Under 140 degrees Fahrenheit, which is, I don't know, Celsius. Hold on. I don't know what that is Celsius. Probably like 60 maybe, because what is that, right? And some y'all know 140 Fahrenheit. We'll look up the Celsius sometime. Okay, because otherwise the mica will fall out of suspension and you'll have crayons that have like a really dark coloration on the bottom, and then at the top it'll have kind of a lighter coloration. I actually overheated this. It's hard, y'all can't see it because every time I turn it, it like changes, but I actually overheated this a little bit, so I'm actually waiting for it to drop down a little bit lower than I normally would, just to make sure that my mica doesn't fall out of suspension and that the entire thing is under 140, because maybe like the surface is 135 right now, but if I stir it like down on the bottom or something, it could be hotter. That can happen. So I just really, I really want to make sure that it's under 140 degrees. I found, like, over making 9,000 crayons, I found that was like the perfect point. So that's important. So if you get crayons that have like a layer and then like kind of like a weird, it's like a yellowish, or it's like something weird looking on the top layer. That's what that is, if that separates like that. The other thing that can happen is if you pour them too cool, and this is not as big a deal, I think, because it's like just kind of cosmetic. But if you pour them really cool, of course I like literally gave away like so many crayons this weekend. I don't have any samples to show you. But if you pour them too cool, they might get these kind of like lines down the side that look like strata, or like when you go to the Grand Canyon and you see like the layers of limestone. So you'll get like these little ledges kind of going up the side. And that means that it was poured just like a hair too cool. So, you know, you want to be cool, but not that cool. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and pour this. I think it's pretty much ready. I'm going to pour some into here. Oh, I can tell this is a little bit too cool. It's hard for you guys can't see. Hold on, darling. Hold on. Okay, I got you. I got this little thing right here. Okay. Right here. Right, come here. Come here. Okay. When I pour it, I don't know if you can see it, but see if you can see. I gotta get myself out of the way. I don't know why my camera is like doing this weird focus thing now, but it is. Come on, focus! It's so hateful at the moment. It's just disrespectful. Okay, well, what's happening is when I pour it, it's super satisfying to watch, actually, as the kids say. But you can kind of see like each layer goes bam, 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 as it fills. So I don't know why it does that, but it's kind of cool to look at. So the reason I'm doing some in this blue one and some in this pink one are because I want to show you that these two molds are not identical. They look identical, but they are not identical. So the green one, I believe, is like slight, whoa, missed the thing right there. Okay. Whoa, okay. All right. Just go back to something simple. Okay. The green one is, I think, slightly taller, and the purple one's like slightly wider. They hold the same, pretty much the same amount. It's like maybe a slight difference in the amount they'll hold. But the reason I'm telling you about this, okay? Reason I'm telling you about this is that when I got the green ones, I was like, this is gonna work. And then I saw the purple ones were cheaper, so I was like, I'm gonna buy a bunch of purple ones. And then I made a bunch of sets of crayons, and then I went to put them together, and they were not the same size. Like you can't really tell visually, but if they're in a pack together, like lined up, you can tell. So whatever one you decide on, just stick with that. Stick with that one, okay? Oh, Diana says it looked great. Thank you. Bridget says the eclipse is happening now in Ontario, Canada. We have like really close to totality. It was really close, and I didn't have. I might have. We only had one pair of eclipse glasses, and so I was like, I'm just gonna go get my sunglasses. And my son was like, no, don't do that. So we just tore the eclipse glasses in half and like did one eye at a time. It was pretty cool. So, okay. They don't take that long to set up. So I probably should have prepped two. And then by the time, so generally by the time the first one is set up, you can pop them out and like, but the amount of time it takes you to make one batch, the first round that you did is ready. Like for me, it's like super quick. They're like ready really fast. It's just so simple. It's simple, right? What else? Let me see what other questions. Oh, hold on, let me think. Oh, what other questions do you have? I know there are questions about these. I just forget what they are sometimes. Okay, Desiree says emulsifying wax O beads are composed of 50% cetyl alcohol and 50% stearyl alcohol derived from vegetable oils. Okay, so when it says cetyl alcohol and stearyl alcohol, that's like cetyl alcohol. So that works. Or cetyreth. It's like they're very similar. So that works. And then you want amphoteric. Am I right about that? Emulsifier in there, like polysorbate 60 or one of the polysorbates you know, right, you want one of those in there with those to kind of help lift. So one of them is going to be, they're going to be doing this anyway. It's got, you want two in there. Okay. Marissa says Joann's has a molds. Joann's has the molds. Okay, I got mine on Amazon, but I'll like, oh, maybe spatulas, I don't know. Okay, Miriam says you're looking forward to it. Kathy says you thought I was doing the live at 2. I am doing it at 2, but I'm doing it at 2 my time. I don't even know how time zones work, to be really honest. I don't know. It is usually from 1 to 2. And the reason that it was not from 1 to 2 today was not because of the solar eclipse. Is because today is my sobriety birthday. And I'm celebrating 11, that's a 2. 11 years clean and sober. Birthdays, weekends, weddings included. So I went to go get like my chip because that's cool. So what is the most popular color for the crayons? Okay, you can do a rainbow. You could, that's good. We'll talk about cost, okay? So the rainbow, if the cost of goods for you think that your customers are not going to buy a rainbow set, because a rainbow set is going to be about, I have to have one somewhere. Hold on, let me see. Why do I do so much? Why do I make so many things all the time? Where's the, why? I don't know where they went. Anyway, the rainbow set should sell. Your cost of goods is going to be around $12 to $15, although I've seen people charging up to $23 for them. So the price is there, right? But if you don't think that your customers are going to bite at that, which like I probably wouldn't either, you can bring it down and you could do like a yellow, a red, and a blue. So you could have like your primary colors together and just do a 3-pack and see if that makes it a little bit easier for people to at least get interested in it. And then once they like it, they'll become, you know, people have to try something first before they trust it, right? The other thing you could do is you could do like pink, purple, and another pink or purple, and do like a spring flower set. You could do like a blue, a green, and an orange, and have like a dinosaur set. So you could have like a few different color combinations that make it to where people can have like more of a bite-sized adventure, like a $5 to $10 price point, $7 maybe, like makes it a little bit easier for people. There was something else in that. Oh, okay. Oh, and how much do they sell for? So yeah, so it kind of depends on your area, your cost of goods, and all that stuff. But just know that like the price, like people are willing to pay it. They just have to try it first, like it, and then reuse it. The other thing that I wanted to mention is that they are, and once we pull one out, not quite ready yet. Once we pull one out, you'll see they are gonna be more breakable than the soap crayons, like the melt and pour soap crayon. You can take one of those up to the Empire State Building and drop it. It's not gonna break, probably. These are going to be more like real crayons. So like real crayons have paper around them so that when you drop them, if they break, they kind of stay together. But like real crayons break if you drop them. It's kind of the same concept here. Like if you drop it, it's going to break, but you can still color with it. You know, like there's no problem coloring. I just, you know, full disclosure, just want to let you know that that's the thing. Kelly says, woo. Yeah. Julie says, congratulations, thank you. And Kathy says, happy birthday, thank you. Now there's a lot of things I'll stop Make With Me Monday for. Not even an eclipse will stop it. Okay? But if I'm sick, or if it's my sorority birthday. Because those are very, yeah. Okay. Danielle says, shipping really eats into your cost of goods. You found a local soap and candle supplier here in Oregon. I feel like we all automatically go online for everything. So a lot of times with shipping, see if you can order like a few things from one supplier. Like Muddy Soap Co. has a lot of these ingredients. Natural Bulk Supplies has a lot of these ingredients. So you can try to bulk them in. But when you're doing your cost of goods, you should... I have a video about this on Patreon too. I may ship all these together. I may ship the stearic acid, the cocoa butter, and the emulsifying wax together. But when I'm calculating my cost of goods, I figure out the shipping as though I was going to have to buy each item individually and have it shipped individually. And the reason that you're doing that is it's a little CYA on your part, because there will be times that you have to do that, where you have to order something on the fly and you have to pay that extra shipping. So like, your cost of goods is not necessarily the same. Well, yeah. It's not necessarily always exactly the same as it actually costs you to make it, but I'll just pass that on to the customer. Okay, okay, these feel pretty good. I'm pretty sure that the unicorns are ready. So let's try a unicorn. So right when these are freshly made, they're gonna be firm. Like, I'll be able to pop it out of here. Probably. Okay. I'll be able to pop it out. But if I were to go draw with this right now, sad, it's too soft still. Okay, it needs time for not just like the inside being gooey and soft, but also just like, even if I'd stuck it in the freezer and it was completely hard, it needs time. It needs like 2 to 3 days to really fully crystallize again, for the cocoa butter and the emulsifying wax. I was like, what is that word? And the stearic acid to kind of completely get their structure, get their ish together, as it may be. So it needs a couple days for that. So if you make it right away and you want to go test it, sure, go test it. But don't give it like the full judgment until you've given it a few days at least, and then give it a test and give it a try. For most people, this is going to be a great recipe. If this is too soft for you, like say there's like a difference in supplies and for some reason it's like softer, and you just, even after 3 or 4 days, you just wish that it had a little bit more, like, vitality, you can, there's an alternate formula, okay? And the alternate formula has more emulsifying wax and a little bit less cocoa butter. The two are so hard to tell apart that a lot of times I was like, which one is this again? And I'd have to go check my notes because I couldn't tell them apart. But there's like a slight difference maybe in like how it feels in your hand or how it melts, or like maybe like the tiniest difference in the drag. So like when you draw on the wall with it and you drag, like just a tiny difference. But if it's like too melty or too soft for you, try the alternate version. What else? What else have I not talked about? Okay, these don't look bad. This one, I stuck my finger in it, so okay. But that's the one that I dented. Oh, you know what? They're probably still like, it's still like soft in the middle. Oops, my bad. Okay, don't pull them out too early. So I'm gonna go on Patreon after this, and I'm gonna make the alternate version that we talked about. And I'm also gonna try, because somebody asked the other day if we could do multiple colors, and I had done multiple, wait, maybe that was a jelly soap. Anyway, whatever. Yes, you can, and that's what I'm gonna do. We're gonna go to Patreon and we're gonna do that. That's what we're gonna do. So if you are in Patreon, come join the after party. Also, I just want to say I'm really glad that I don't know that I can't hear myself saying the word crayon, because the little video that we have on our TikTok, for the first time I listened to it, I was like, do I say crayon like that? Crayon? Is that how I say it? Oh my god. Anyway, I'm just really glad I didn't have to hear me say that over and over, but thank you for you hearing me say it over and over. Okay, wait. Danielle in Oregon too. We're okay, talking about soap suppliers. Yes, guys, share the information, be friends, help each other, okay, or else. All right, thanks for hanging out with me today. Oh wait, I was gonna show you their different sizes. I was like, I'm gonna show you their different sizes, and then see, yeah, it doesn't look like it's gonna be that different. And then like you can tell they're different sizes. Like when we're looking at it like that, you can tell. You can tell. Okay, so whatever one you stick with that one. Okay, don't make the mistake I made, because now I have like 6 of these and I don't like them. Okay, I'll include links in the description. That's it. Thanks for hanging out with me today. You're the best. Happy making. Oh, will there be a link to the recipe?